Welcome to our podcast series, Raising Saints and Forming Scholars, where we delve into your questions about the world of classical education. We were made for truth, beauty, and goodness. Let's talk about it. This episode is part of a series dedicated to our exploration of the richness of our partnership with the Institute for Catholic Liberal Education, otherwise known as ICLE. Last summer, some of the teachers and I were able to enjoy their wonderful annual conference in Pittsburgh. In these videos, I'll be speaking with the teachers about their experiences. These series of episodes are sponsored by Kalik Auto Group, who have been great supporters of our school by being an event sponsor at our gala. So while Mrs. Sanchez was not able to go with us this year to the ICLE conference, she has gone with us in the past, I still wanted to have a conversation with her about the Catholic classical vision. What would you like to share with us, Mrs. Sanchez? Maybe something about mathematics and science?
Of course. Well, I'll start with the beautiful quote from St. Jerome's Classical Curriculum Guide, which we have adopted. It says, mathematics is studied not because it is first useful and then beautiful, but because it reveals the beautiful order inherent in the cosmos. So when we talk about math and when we're discovering and uncovering these beautiful patterns, we can also in that see God's hand at work.
Mm-hmm. And what a great gift to give to students while they're immersed in their computations, especially nowadays, to know there's order, to know there is a designer with a purpose behind all of it. You know, that's really can help against some of this despair that we see with young people.
And the more we look, the more we see. And the more we see, then the more we come to understand and to know.
You know, in one of our previous podcasts, we spoke with Mrs. Padilla, who said that word "look" was very apparent to her. And I think you're right. If we have to keep reminding our students to look, and if we're willing to take the time to look, we will see God's hand at work in everything. And what a great gift to give to young people.
Well, and I know you've often have communicated that reason and religion
they work together. Yes,
reason and science
complementary
are very complementary. If
we are struggling with reason or science, there's just something we don't understand or we don't know, because they never contradict each other. You know, so we just need some of that humility to see that. And if we can remind our students that faith and reason work together, you don't have to give one up for the other.
Right,
in fact, our Catholic tradition we're the ones who invented that. We highlight that going back to the scientific method. It would be a great foundation for our students to have as they move on to high school and then college.
Very much so. The other thing that comes to mind as far as classical education, there were a couple principles that kind of really hit me, especially in the classroom and as I'm instructing. Festina Lente, we make haste slowly. So I know our society, everyone is busy. We're so busy and we're doing and we're moving. There's value in stepping back and slowing down and really examining.
That's one of the things I like about your classroom, actually, because your classroom, your students get things done. It is a classroom of results, I would say. We have really good results, but I don't feel that tension or that stress level. I do think there's often this intention to go back to make haste slowly. So I think it's a nice balance.
And the other one was multum non multa. It's better to master a few things well than to just rush through content that will be forgotten.
Absolutely.
So really providing, the environment for students to really take things in and have memorable experiences.
Yes.
Whether it be, we're out in nature.
Feeding them after reading a great book.
Creating a feast.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And making a memory.
Yes. Making a memory is very important. Yes. Well, good. I am grateful for this conversation about,
as am I,
some of our principles in classical education. Thank you, Mrs. Sanchez.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez.
So while Mrs. Dominguez was not able to come to our conference this summer, I still asked her to come and speak to us about the classical method, because Mrs. Dominguez has taught in the Catholic schools for many years, but now she's been at a classical school for 2 years. So I was wondering if you could share with us what's different or unique about the classical here at Holy Child.
Okay. Would it be okay if I came from a perspective as also a parent?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
So I can clearly, after 2 years, see a difference between Holy Child and other Catholic schools. The differences are numerous, from the words used, from anything from instruction to the way the children are spoken to in the cafeteria, on the playground, from the materials used in the classroom, from books. Everything really is true, good, and beautiful. Things are scrutinized to make sure our children have that. I know we hear those words often, true, good, beautiful. But here at Holy Child, it really is true, good, and beautiful. Even the physical classroom is different because they're not cold, they're not sterile. On the opposite side, they're not obnoxious with just the latest fad or trends of whatever's out in the secular world. And it's hard to explain, but it's almost like, I guess the best way I can explain it is that in the air, there is just a consistent, true presence of our Catholic faith, of the Holy Spirit. It's just it's infused in the air. I don't know how else to explain that.
Well, yeah, that's beautiful. And as the principal, it's nice to hear, because we spent so much time getting curtains, rugs, and plants. That was a lot of work, but we do try to create an environment in the classroom that feels like a home, but a beautiful home that's structured but also organic, that is rigorous but also has an air of relaxation. It's hard to get that balance, so we do try to do that. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yes. And my daughter, speaking from her perspective, she went from, it started out, she would be very, very upset Sunday night that school was coming. She was just very anxious, very nervous. It led up to the only time my daughter wasn't anxious or nervous was Friday afternoon. And now she can't wait to come to school. She's excited. She wants to get up. She's ready. So
that makes us happy to hear. I know we're excited to see the kids. We may get tired,
yes,
but we're excited to see them.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Mrs. Dominguez. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.